Shalom, giving all praises and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chachodash, double honors, unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of all well, and Shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. I am the brother Kalab from the GMS UK. London Forecasters Camp coming back at you with another lesson to edify those of which I spoke of. So here's a news article from the Independent. It says, Hong Kong accuses construction firm of gross negligence after the deadliest fire in decades kills 128 people. It says Chinese city's deadliest fire in nearly 80 years raises questions over use of bamboo scaffolding. Now, doesn't this sound familiar? Doesn't this sound like the story that broke in 2017 over here in the UK of Grenfell Tower, where you had that tower block in can't remember which part of London it is, that basically burnt down and basically became a crematorium for all the people living in that building above a certain floor. A lot of people died, and they still can't even agree on the exact death toll. And to this day, this is 2025, we're 8 years on from the Grenfell Tower tragedy, and nobody has yet been brought to justice for that here in the UK. It's fucking ridiculous, man. And also, they claim they don't know how many people were living in the building when, if you're living in a flat and you don't pay your rent on time, they're looking to evict you. Oh, so how do they know you're living there when they claim they don't know how many people are living in Grenfell? Now, okay, you do have a thing called subletting. Yeah, that's a possibility. But even with that, you should know who the registered tenants are. It's not a fucking random mystery that you can't solve. But this is Esau, and in his kingdom, he's not going to give you justice. You know, they'll say all that good talk. Oh yeah, we're going to have an inquiry and lessons must be learnt from this terrible tragedy. But yet give it 2-3 weeks and a news cycle changes. Because the way the news operates is that it works on cycles. It's not just a random thing where it's like, okay, well, today we're going to report on this and tomorrow we're going to report on that as it happens. Now, these news cycles, they're carefully tailor-made and created in order to have psychological impacts on the people. It's not just some random stream of consciousness that they're putting down your television or your radio waves to for you to listen to. It's all carefully constructed and carefully orchestrated. Esau doesn't leave anything to chance, right? Now, okay, you might have some events that do happen that are not on Esau's not in Esau's playbook, as you could say, but that really comes from the Most High. But then Esau will take that and run with it. Give an example, like, let's say you have a tornado hitting a certain town. Yeah, Esau's got his weather manipulating technology, but yet at the end of the day, he can't use that unless the Most High sanctions it. And sometimes the Most High does things that Esau doesn't predict, but that's why Esau gives these events different names rather than attributing it to the Most High. For example, a lot of these hurricanes and tornadoes, they give them names like Storm Gilbert or Hurricane Katrina. They give them these storms these names. Really, that's to take the credit away from the Most High, because really it's the Most High who controls the issues of death and who creates these tempests and hurricanes and whirlwinds and earthquakes. At the end of the day, a bird can't even fall to the ground unless the Most High sanctions it. Anyway, I've talked enough. Let me get into this article, right? So it says at least 128 people have now been confirmed dead and dozens more injured in the massive fire that tore through a Hong Kong apartment complex on Wednesday, with hundreds still listed as missing. Seven of the eight residential towers at Wang Fuk Court in the Tai Po district caught fire in the Chinese city's deadliest blazed in almost 80 years, forcing nearly 900 of the 4,800 residents to stay at temporary shelters overnight. Hong Kong Security Chief Chris Tang told a press conference on Friday afternoon that the operation to search for survivors had ended and the toll now stood at 128. A unit of the complex burst into flames around 5 a.m. local time, with fire tongues visible through the windows. Excuse me. Excuse me. With fire tongues visible through the windows, accompanied by heavy smoke. The Standard reported, though, that has now been brought under control. Mr. Tang said the injured included 12 firefighters and more than 1,000 police officers had been pressed into action as part of the emergency response. Firefighters had mostly contained the fire by Thursday afternoon, allowing rescue workers to begin scouring the complex's smouldering remains for survivors. Hope they can find more survivors. I think they have tried their best. The firefighters have done a lot, resident Jackie Kwok said. It's a terrible disaster that no one wanted to happen. Rescuers battled intense heat, thick smoke, and a collapsing scaffolding and debris as they fought to reach residents fared trapped on the upper floors of the complex. The blaze was expected to be fully extinguished by Friday evening, Fire Services Deputy Director Derek Armstrong Chan said, adding that firefighters had located multiple survivors in the destroyed buildings. Most of the victims were found in 2 towers of the complex, the Deputy Director said. As many as 279 people were listed as missing on Thursday, and that figure is yet to be updated. Mr. Chan says 25 calls for help to the fire services remained unresolved, including 3 in recent hours, which would be prioritized. A distraught woman carrying her daughter's graduation photographs searched for her child outside a shelter, one of 8 that authorities said were housing the nearly 900 displaced residents. She and her father were still not out, said the woman, who gave her only her surname, NG, as she sobbed. They didn't have water to save our building. The fires put a spotlight on the use of bamboo scaffolding in the city, a decades-long practice after bamboo lattices came crashing down in flames. Police said the building's exterior walls had protective nets, membranes, waterproof tarpaulins, and plastic sheets suspected of not meeting fire safety standards. The blaze started on the external scaffolding of a 31-story tower, engulfed its bamboo scaffolding and construction netting, moved inside the building, and eventually leapt to nearby high-rises, likely aided by windy conditions. In the wake of the fire, police arrested 2 directors and an engineering consultant of Prestige Construction, which was contracted to perform maintenance on the building on suspicion of manslaughter. Yeah, and over here in the UK, 8 years later, ain't nobody been brought up on manslaughter charges for the Grenfell Tower incident. Which, at the end of the day, I've always been inclined to believe that that was a blood sacrifice anyway, set up by Esau from the jump. Those people in Grenfell, they were just blood sacrifice, man. Authorities accused the grossly negligent firm of using unsafe building material. Police Superintendent Eileen Chung said authorities had reason to believe the company's responsible parties were grossly negligent in their use of materials that allowed the fire to spread uncontrollably. Authorities also raided the company's office, seized bidding documents, a list of its employees, 14 computers, and 3 mobile phones. Hong Kong Chief Executive John Lee said that his development bureau had met with construction industry representatives to discuss replacing bamboo scaffolding with metal alternatives. Meanwhile, the displaced residents hunkered down in temporary shelters, including a nearby school where they were provided bottled water, food, and other necessities overnight, with volunteers bringing further supplies. There we go. To be honest, this is just going on. Don't really need to read much more than that. But let's see some of these comments. Grenfell and Hong Kong, both unspeakably awful disasters. Both have been the result of incompetence and disgusting cost-cutting and profiteering. But the one thing seems certain, in Hong Kong people will be held accountable and quickly, just the opposite of what happened what's happening with Grenfell. Yeah. Another awful tower building fire similar to the Grenfell 2017, where spread of the fire was largely caused by substandard flammable exterior cladding on the building. 72 people died. No sprinklers again, still the same in the UK. A cheap, effective, simple solution, but still ignored. No health and safety equals filled cemeteries. No effective health and safety in the UK. Multiple £1 million inquiries, but still no sprinklers mandated to be fitted in high-rise buildings. There you go, man. Fucking ridiculous, man. But who's responsible for this ultimately? The Most High. Deuteronomy 32 and verse 39 says this. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So it was the Most High who was responsible for this tragedy and killing these people. It was the judgment of the Lord. Let's get Isaiah. There we go. Isaiah 45 and 7 says a similar thing, but I'll read from Isaiah 45 and 5. I am the Lord Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no God besides me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none besides me. I am the Lord Yahweh, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things. This is Sirach 39, verse 28. Actually, let's read this. This is a very good one. This is Sirach 39, starting at verse 24. His ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned to evil. Notice I said fire up there, right? So it says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail, famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. There you go. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions and serpents and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. There you go. So it says fire and hail, famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. So this fire, this was the vengeance of the Lord on these Moabites. And best believe there were some Jakes up in there amongst them, because you've got Jakes scattered everywhere. But this was the judgment of the Lord. You know, this was the Lord's fury being played out in this tragedy, man. And you see all that smoke going up. You know, that's terrifying, man. I mean, Grenfell Tower was one building. This is what, 5, 6 complexes all burning up at once. That must have been a hell of a horrific sight. But you know what? The Most High don't flinch at stuff like this, because the Most High is the one who pronounced the judgment. Yeah. So for those Christians of you who think, oh, well, God doesn't kill, let this be a wake-up call to you, man. The Most High does kill. The Most High is the one that causes and controls the issues of death, as I read it in Deuteronomy 32 and verse 39. So yeah, man. Not much more to say, but you know, as we progress towards the end of this society, this Esau system, this kingdom, we're going to see more and more deadly horrific judgments going out like this, until ultimately the biggest judgment will be Babylon the Great, which is the landmass of America, being destroyed with fire, with the fire from the ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and also the laser beams from the chariots. You see this site here that we see on the screen here, this photograph? That's what's going to take place on the shores of America when Yahweh Shai returns. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of great millstone that rule well. And shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. I'll catch you on the next lesson. Lord willing. Shalom for now.